So welcome back to my new video. So today we are going to starting a new chapter of first year biology, which is chapter respiration. This is the last chapter of our book of syntax book. So today we are going to discussing just the introduction about respiration and the terms, which includes like breathing, inspiration, expiration, and such a respiratory surface and all these things. So firstly, what is respiration? Let me write the definition of respiration. Respiration is we can say it is a catabolic process. It is a catabolic process in which exchange of gases occurs along with the oxi oxidize oxi along with the oxidation wait, along with the oxidation of simple carbohydrate in which we get energy in form of ATP, and H2O means H2O and CO2 is released. So what is respiration? Respiration is a catabolic respiration is a catabolic process in which exchange of gases occurs, like inhalation and exhalation of process. This process occurs, breathing occurs, along with the oxidation of simple carbohydrate in which we got energy in the form of ATP, and H2 and CO2 is released. ऐसा process एक catabolic process है जिसमें exchange of gases occurs, जिसमें we inhale the oxygen and we exhale out the carbon dioxide. With that, the oxidation of simple carbohydrate occurs. Means the simple carbohydrate is oxidized, is broken down under some chemical reactions by which we got the energy in the form of ATP. हमें ATP में energy मिलती है, and in the result of this reaction, after getting the energy in the form of ATP, water and carbon dioxide is released, and this carbon dioxide is exhaled out by our mouth or by our body, we can say. So ये तो हो गया respiration. Now what are the simple terms we can say? What is breathing? uh, Breathing, sorry, what is breathing? So if you write the definition of breathing, so breathing is defined as, in a simple word, process of inspiration and expiration, or we can say it is also defined as process in which we intake oxygen from environment and take out or exhale out carbon dioxide, CO2. So breathing is a process of inspiration and expiration, and in which we intake the oxygen from environment and take out or exhale out the carbon dioxide. And one more thing, it is a part of respiration. We can say breathing is a part of respiration. What is breathing? Breathing is a part of respiration. If we talk about the term inspiration, inspiration and inspiration. So inspiration means taking in of oxygen from surrounding to the alveoli, or and if we talk about the human, the respiratory surface for human is alveoli, but for other organisms, for like earthworm, it is the skin and some others. So taking enough oxygen from surrounding to alveoli is called the process of inspiration. And if we talk about the expiration, so taking out of CO2 from our body to to us from body to our surrounding to our body to from body to our surrounding. So inspiration is a process of taking enough oxygen from surrounding to alveoli or surrounding to body, from environment into the body. And expiration is a taking out of carbon dioxide from out from taking out of carbon dioxide from body from body, sorry, from body to surrounding. If we talk about the types of, or we can say we have two kinds of, we cannot say type difference. If we talk about the first kind, which is internal respiration. What is internal respiration? If we talk about the internal respiration, so internal respiration also is also called uh, is also called is also called tissue level respiration, or cellular respiration. Acid respiration, which is also called the tissue level respiration or cellular respiration. If we define this term, so we can define it as a process, we can say a process in which O2 sorry O2 and CO2 is exchanged between blood capillaries and tissues, we can say tissues. Okay, so process in which oxygen and carbon dioxide is exchanged between the blood capillaries and tissues means the oxygenated blood and the exchange of gases between the oxygenated blood and non-oxygenated blood in the tissues. जो टिश्यूज़ में ऑक्सीजनेटेड डीऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड होता है और जो कैपिलरीज में ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड होता है जो लंग से आता है, that is exchanged. I mean tissues को blood capillaries will provide tissues to oxygenated blood, and blood capillaries will take the deoxygenated blood from the tissues and give them oxygenated blood, and the deoxygenated blood is further transferred into the right atrium of the heart, right atrium to the right ventricle to the by connecting the pulmonary artery, by which the deoxygenated blood is transferred into the lungs by some its capillaries like pulmonary, some its, we can say, pulmonary arteries is divided into some of its pulmonary capillaries, by which they are giving deoxygenated blood to the lungs and taking them from taking the blood of oxygenated blood from them. So this complete process comes in circulation. Now the second kind, we have external respiration. External respiration is also called as is also called as pulmonary pulmonary respiration. Pulmonary respiration is also known as pulmonary respiration is a process. External respiration is a process in which exchange 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 of gases occurs between blood capillaries blood capillaries and alveoli alveoli. So the process in which exchange of gases matlab the changes exchange of gases between the blood capillaries and alveoli and the lungs alveoli in lungs is defined as the external respiration, and the respiration or the exchange of gases between um, gases of exchange between tissues and blood capillaries is called internal respiration, and the exchange of gases between blood capillaries or pulmonary capillaries and alveoli in lungs is called external respiration. When the oxygen comes into uh, the respiratory tract, it reaches to the alveoli. Alveoli is the terminal point of the respiratory tract, in which the gases exchanged, in which the carbon dioxide gas is exhaled out from the lungs, and the oxygen is added in the blood, in which the blood becomes oxygenated, और जो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड हमें और डीऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड से मिलती है, we exhaled it out and we add the oxygen in that blood, and that blood becomes oxygenated blood. So the process occurs uh, between blood capillaries and alveoli, called external respiration. So if we talk about the respiratory surface, what is respiratory surface? Respiratory respiratory surface. So respiratory surface means a point, a place. So we can say a place or a point where exchange of gases occurs, called respiratory surface. A place or point where exchange of gases occurs called respiratory surface. ऐसी जगह जहाँ पर exchange of gases हो इसको हम बोलते हैं respiratory surface. For example alveolar membrane in human skin in earthworm. So these are some of the examples of respiratory surface. The respiratory surface of earthworm is skin, and in human the respiratory surface is alveolar membrane, or you can say alveoli, which is covered with alveolar membrane by which exchange of gases occurs. So there are some characteristics of respiratory surface. We have some characteristics of respiratory surface. The first characteristic we have moist. Why it is necessary to be to the respiratory surface to be moist? Because it allows exchange of gases easily, or we can say gases or gases can easily pass. Why it is necessary to be moist of the respiratory surface? Because अगर वो moist रहेगा, moist means a liquidy type, a गीला रहेगा, because which provides lubrication to the respiratory surface, by which it cannot dry. So this is also a characteristic of that why it should be a moist. And for being moist in the process of exchange of gases, it allows the exchange of gases easily, or gases can pass easily. जो gases होती है वो easily pass कर जाती है at the moist surface. The next we have thin. We have thin. So we can say the respiratory surface is of respiratory surface should be thin. If we talk about the alveoli, so it is made up of ciliated epithelial epithelial cells, which are thin, and they form the thin cilials form a thin membrane, which form a thin membrane on respiratory surface, RS, respiratory surface. Why it is important to be thin? Because it decreases it decreases it decreases the distance it decreases the distance it decreases the distance of diffusion. It decreases the distance of diffusion, or we can say diffusion process easily occurs. So why it should be thin? Because when the surface is thin, it is made up of the ciliated epithelial cells. If we talk about the alveolar membrane, so it makes respiratory surface thin, these cells, and it decreases the distance of diffusion, or diffusion process easily occurs. Easily diffusion हो जाती है. Now the third we have permeability. Permeability. Uh, the permeability of respiratory surface shows that it is permeable to gases. Which gases? O2 and CO2. So it is permeable to gases such as O2 and CO2. So this is important to be permeable. And the last includes we have yes, large surface area. Large surface area. Where it is important to be large surface area? Because if the surface area of respiration means the respiratory surface is large, it the more gases can be the more gases can be exchanged, the amount of gas can be exchanged in a high quantity, and by which our organs will be uh, by which the more oxygenated blood will be needed, and the organs, we can easily supply the oxygenated blood to our organs, by which our body works. So अगर large surface area नहीं होगा तो less oxygen will be supplied to our organs. अगर large surface area होगा तो हमारे पास ऑक्सीजन, हम एक्सचेंज ऑफ गैसेस ज़्यादा करेंगे, and we release more carbon dioxide and gain more, and we intake the more oxygen, by which we can supply the oxygen to our body organs, and they can work properly. One more thing, that what the diffusion gradient, if we talk about the diffusion gradient diffusion gradient diffusion gradient. So if we talk about diffusion gradient, we know that in alveoli, in lungs we have, or we can say in alveoli, the concentration of oxygen is high. The concentration of oxygen is high means, if we say can, that in lungs in lungs O2 is high. अगर हमारे पास लंग्स में ऑक्सीजन की कंसंट्रेशन ज़्यादा है, अगर लंग्स में हमारे पास ऑक्सीजन की कंसंट्रेशन ज़्यादा है और कैपिलरीज में इसमें इस if we relate with capillaries, so in capillaries we have oxygen, we have CO2 more, CO2 is high. अगर हम डिफ्यूजन ग्रेडियंट की बात करें तो हमारे पास ऑक्सीजन कंसंट्रेशन लंग्स में ज़्यादा होती है और कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कंसंट्रेशन कैपिलरीज में ज़्यादा होती है, बिकॉज दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग और दे आर supplying the oxygen to our organs, and they are taking the carbon deoxygenated blood from the organs. So capillaries में ऑक्सीजन कम होती है और लंग्स में ज़्यादा होती है. तो द ऑक्सीजन, how the exchange of gases occurs, oxygen is by the process of diffusion means from high concentration to low concentration, which means the concentration of oxygen in lungs is high and in capillaries it is low, means the concentration of oxygen is high will move into the capillaries where the concentration is low. So we can say O2 will move to CO move to capillaries. Oxygen will move to the capillaries, which means जब ऑक्सीजन की कंसंट्रेशन ज़्यादा है हमारे पास लंग्स में और कैपिलरीज के रिलेटेड हम रिलेट करें तो ऑक्सीजन की कंसंट्रेशन लंग्स में ज़्यादा है, कैपिलरीज में कम है. तो ऑक्सीजन विल मूव फ्रॉम हाई कंसंट्रेशन टू लो कंसंट्रेशन, विच मीन्स ऑक्सीजन विल मूव टू द कैपिलरीज फ्रॉम लंग्स. एंड सेम अकर्स विद द कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. अगर हम CO2 की बात करें तो CO2 विल move to lungs from capillaries. Oxygen will move from capillaries to lungs because from to capillaries from lungs, मतलब lungs से capillaries में जा रहे हैं because concentration is high in lungs and capillaries में कम है, तो high concentration to low concentration, and same with the carbon dioxide from high concentration to the low concentration. So this was all about today about the introduction of respiration, respiratory surface, and characteristic of respiratory surface.